What I'm going to do first is I'm going to attach the drawer sides using 1 1/4 number 8 screws. And you measure those, if you're measuring them, from the head all the way to the tip. And sometimes going hardwood into hardwood is not a bad idea to just dip the threads into a little bit of vegetable oil, mineral oil. So I'm going to go into the countersunk holes in the back of the drawer back. I got the sides on. I'm going to put the drawer bottom in, take the best side, face that up, place, make sure that it's seated in here. And then we're going to attach the drawer front. Now the drawer front, this is attached to the sides with what we call a bastron system. You have 2 bastron posts, thread on one end, hole on the other, a flat blade screwdriver on the top, and we have an illustration on the video that shows you all about this in case you have some questions. But you take the drawer front, and here you see there are 4 holes. These inside ones are for the handle, and the outside ones are for the post. I like to start those with just tapping them, just starting them. I'm going to turn those down until the threads are all the way into the wood. And then I'm going to back them out just about a full turn so that the hole in the post is parallel with the long edges of the front there. I'm just going to back that out just maybe 1 full turn. Hole in the post is right here. The same thing with this one. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the barrel nuts. They're little bronze barrel looking nuts. On one end is threaded, and you'll see a couple little notches there. And that shows you where the hole in the side is. And what we're going to do is I'm going to insert these into the nut access holes here. Take the drawer front, insert the post, in place. Make sure that the drawer is seated. Then I'm going to secure those with the little set screws and the Allen wrench that they give you as part of your hardware kit. Okay, now we're going to attach the drawer glides. You'll find a little packet that says 5/8 number 6 screws used on the drawer side glides. Sometimes the number is different, but usually they'll have a little packet that tells you what to use these on. And these are the glides that go on the drawer. You've got one side that has just 2 or 3 holes, and the other one has multiple holes. This one's going to go to 3 holes. You only have 2 holes here to use, but the main thing to make sure is that this is up against the back of the front, and you'll see that these 2 little pilot holes line right up. And so we're going to tighten those down, and then we're going to reverse. Okay, now we're going to put the handle on. We're going to take these little truss heads. They're the ones that have a little split in the top of them. There's no point on them. These happen to be bronze. We're going to put them through the inside here, the drawer. This is the drawer front. This is the handle. I'm going to start with one side. Just I'm going to use a flat blade screwdriver. You can use a Phillips. And you have your handle attached. Okay, now we're going to prep the side panels. At this time, the side panels are exactly the same. There's no lefts or rights. But when we put the glide on for the drawer, then that's going to determine which side. So we're going to take one side, and you have a little notch at the top. You see the notch at the top. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach that drawer glide support. You'll notice there's 4 little pilot holes here. We're only going to use 1 and 3, okay? But the other ones are just for manufacturing convenience. And then we'll use these two to attach it using the countersunk up. And so I'm going to attach that. I'm going to come right up here to the top, so you're down about that point. I'm going to take the 1-inch screw. Here again, we're measuring from the top to the bottom. They're just a little bit shorter than the ones that we're going to use to attach the rails. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the little basket glides. You'll notice that they're offset a little bit. Starting at the top, I'm going to put the thin side toward the top. You have 2, 4, 6 pilot holes, and this time I'm going to use the 1 1/4 number 8 screws. I'm going to attach the 3 of them. Okay, now with the rails in place, you should be at this point. One thing I want to caution you about is you don't have a lot of wood on these glides, and if you use a power screwdriver and you go down too hard, you're going to split it out. So I would suggest just using a hand screwdriver to put these rails on both sides. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the glide, the drawer glide, to this support rail here. It's basically going to be pretty much flush with the front. We're going to make this the front. You got a space at the top here to allow for the wheel on the drawer to come over. And you will look down and you're going to see 2 of the holes lined up. You've got a little packet of screws that say used on the cabinet glide. And so we're going to use those. And that glide is going to be just about flush with the bottom of the brace, and then you just tighten that down. Okay, here's where we should be at this point. This is your left front, this is your right front. The middle part of the groove is up on all 3 of them. Your glide, it's right at the end there. You have a space here at the top. And so now we're ready to put these assembly together. Now we're going to attach the braces to the sides. This is the top back brace. It's the widest, biggest brace. Little notches going toward the top. And I'm going to attach that using a 1 3/4 inch machine screw. I'm going to go right through the top here. And then I'm going to put a pin in the end. I'm going to put it in both ends. That just really keeps the brace from moving, and it's okay if those pins are loose. Okay, I'm going to line the pin up. If there's a hole, as you can see, right on the other side of the brace here. Just going to line that pin up to the hole in the leg, and then I'm going to line that up. And then I'm going to attach that using just a little hex nut. Pushing that hex nut up against the wood closest to the screw. Okay, now I'm going to attach the top front brace. You notice there's 2 little holes in it. Countersink holes here, those are going down. And then I'm attaching on one side at a time, and then we'll attach the other side. And I'm going to attach this with the 1 3/4 inch machine screw and nut, just like I did back here. Okay, now we're going to do the bottom braces. They're exactly alike. Got a couple pinholes here to support the shelf. These nut access holes, they're going to go up. And I'm going to put a 3/4 inch pin into either end. Fit right into the leg, and then I'm going to secure it with the same assembly bolt, 1 3/4 inch machine screw with the nut. Okay, now we're going to attach the right side. We've got the 4 braces, top front, back front, top back, and then we're going to attach these. First we're going to put the little 3/4 inch, those are the shortest pins in the bottom braces and in the back brace. This one doesn't get one. And we'll align those, and then we're going to secure them with 1 3/4 inch bolts and nuts, and then we'll have our side together. Here's where you should be at this point. Braces in place, all secured nice and tight. Brackets are in place. And now we're going to prep the top with the drop leaves. Okay, lay your tabletop on a nice smooth surface, inverted. We have a couple little dig outs here. That's just to clear the buttons on the legs. Has no function as far as we're doing now. And then we're going to lay it out exactly like I have it here. You have pilot holes for the hinges, 4 places, and then you have 5 pilot holes for the drop leaf support. Okay. And on these we use just a little bit smaller screw. We use a 5/8 number 6, and on this one we use a 5/8 number 8. So just going to go ahead and align all of those and tighten them up, and then we'll pretty much have the tabletop assembled. I always start all 4 of them before you tighten them all down. Okay, now we're going to put the Z brackets in. You'll notice there's 4 pilot holes, exactly the same. When we put the Z brackets in, this is going to become the back of the unit, because the front of the unit will be attached with some longer screws through that support stick that we put on earlier. But these are just attached, a little, we call them Z brackets. They're shaped like a Z. Got a hole in one side. We're going to take a 5/8 number 8 screw. I'm just going to start those at this point, because later on, the next step, I'm going to have to turn those into the brace, and I need a lot of play in that. Okay, now I'm going to take the cabinet assembly, turn it upside down. This is the front. You have the little brace here, you got the countersunk holes here, and in the bottom of the top there's 2 pilot holes. We're going to align those with these longest screws you have, about 1 3/4 inch long Phillips screws. We'll get those started. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take those Z brackets. I've got them turned to the side right now. I'm going to lift them up and fit them into that groove that's in that top front brace, and slide them around until they're straight. They're in the slot. Then as I tighten them down, that solid piece that's in the brace is going to tighten that right down against the top. So you have a really nice tight fit. Okay, well, I've got the unit still inverted. I'm going to do 2 things. One, I'm going to put these 1-inch pins for the bottom shelf. They go right in these bottom braces here. Tap those in. So they're seated. Then there's 2 that goes into the front brace. The next thing I want to do, I want to put the casters in. All of the sleeves are exactly the same. They go in the holes in the bottom of the leg. And you're going to tap those in real well so the teeth bite. And you have 2 locking casters and 2 regular casters. I like to put the locking ones on the front, just because you're easier to get to them to lock them. You can just pop those into place, or you can take a hammer and pop them on. And then we'll put. Okay, upright the cart. I'm going to take the bottom panel here again, pick the best side. I'm going to slide that in. It's going to rest on the pin. Then we'll take the drawer. Get that down just a little bit, put the wheels that are attached to the drawer sides over the wheels. And the other, lift it up a little bit, and slide it in place. Now the last that, I want to retighten all of these 4 screws on either side to make sure that they're good and tight. Then we're going to take the little wooden disc. These discs have a little grain on them. I line that up with a grain in the wood after I tighten it up. And they're tapered so that they're going to go and stay in there. Then I tapped them into place. If you ever need to remove them, just take a knife blade and go all the way around the edge and pry them out. If you break the lip on them, we'll be happy to replace them for you like that. Now we're going to assemble the baskets. They come folded up. These are going to stick up. These are the sides, the ends. Got little springs on them here. We'll try to move those springs back away from each other as far as possible so they don't bind. I'm just going to put it on the floor. I'm going to do one side at a time. You see that little hook here? The little hook is going to go over top and go in behind this vertical one here. And it's easier to bring them in from the side because it's lower. Okay? That just slips right in there. And then your basket's all set. And then you can insert the baskets from the front or the back.